the director of national intelligence, said Iran is changing its game plan, stepping up spying and more determined than ever to launch an attack on U.S. soil.
America's top intelligence chief had a new bracing warning, revealing that Iran may be more ready than ever to launch terror attacks inside the United States.
Iran's threat to the United States in the United States, right here at home.
Iran could now be more willing to attack the U.S. at home and abroad.
There's a good chance that this Persian Gulf region could explode within a matter of months.
The reality is exactly the opposite. The U.S. and Israel are threatening Iran in all kinds of ways on a daily basis. They've engaged in all kinds of acts of war, from assassinating their scientists on their own soil to sending cyber warfare and sophisticated viruses.
You know what I really fear about what's happening here? It's another Iraq coming. Is war propaganda going on?
The U.S. military practically has Iran completely encircled with bases and military presence in all of the neighboring countries. And so you hear in those clips you played, remarkably, this depiction of Iran as the aggressor.
U.S. officials warn, however, that Iran's massive stockpile of ballistic missiles is the more serious threat.
Iran is well capable of producing enough highly enriched uranium for a weapon.
How alarming is this report from Mr. Clapper?
It is alarming because this is the newest threat facing the U.S.
Tucker, aren't we the only country allowed to make preemptive strikes? Who the hell does Iran think it is?
I think we are the only
No,
country
I'm not
with the
kidding at
moral
all.
authority. Rather, we are. That's absolutely right, the only country with the moral authority sufficient to do that, the only country that doesn't seek hegemony in the world. So I think Iran deserves to be annihilated. I think they're lunatics. I think they're evil.
Head of the security for Israel, who just recently retired, said that it wouldn't make any sense to do this, to take them out because they might be having a weapon.
If you turn it to ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, Fox News, or any of the rest of them, will all agree that there's a scary, dangerous nuclear weapons threat from Iran. And they just figure, you don't know about a safeguards agreement, you don't know about the non-proliferation treaty, you don't know the difference between 3.6% and 90+% uranium-235, and therefore, if you're afraid of getting nuked in your jammies in the middle of the night, you'll let them go ahead and have their war.
Fox News Alert, a bipartisan group of senators on Capitol Hill sending a strong warning to Iran. They are introducing a resolution backing the use of U.S. military force, to stop Iranian leaders from getting their hands on nuclear weapons.
We will prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons capability.
Distraction by negotiation while you become a nuclear power is not an option for you. And containment of a nuclear Iran is not an option for us.
I think now it's out of the question. Everyone now knows, most of the world, if not all the world, knows that the Iranians are trying to develop a nuclear bomb.
Now, as we said last night, no one buys Iran's claim that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes.
But for you to say that there's some scientific evidence and some people arguing that maybe in a year they might have a weapon, there's a lot more saying they don't have it. There's no UN evidence of that happening. Klepper at the in our National Security Department, he says there is no evidence. It's no different than it was in 2003.
The U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet would be the world's first line of defense. They're prepared to take on just about anything Iran throws at them.
And so you don't really have the government pushing it like you did with Iraq, and yet the American media is still as aggressive. In fact, you could even say more aggressive with regard to hyping the threat about Iran, depicting them as the root of all evil, trying to persuade the public to view them as this serious party of aggression, more so than when they did with Iraq.
Doesn't it look like Iran is about to instigate a war against us? But the reality is, all Iran has said is, if we are attacked, then I guess we'll retaliate.
Could we, if we had to, without using nuclear weapons ourselves, take out their nuclear capability?
Well, I certainly want them to believe that that's the case.
What is it?
I absolutely want them to believe that that's the case.
The clock is ticking. Iran has to do the right thing and abolish its nuclear program. Otherwise, military action against Iran will be inevitable. And I assure you, Megan, that if the U.S. does not do it, and I hope they do, Israel will.